welcome back to another video on my Man Film Figures. What in the world was this? Let's get into the review of Backlash, whatever you want to call it, WrestleMania Backlash. But yeah, sorry that this wasn't out yesterday. I had school and I had to watch it when I came back from school, so sorry that this wasn't out before, but we're getting into everything in a second, guys. Okay, guys, starting off, I think I'm kind of getting sick of the Thunderdome. I think let's get into Hell in a Cell is the next pay-per-view, which was Hell in a Cell really this time last year? Doesn't feel like that. Hell in a Cell doesn't even feel like that long ago because Roman versus Jay was there. But yeah, I just hope we're probably going to have Thunderdome for Hell in a Cell, and I think this pay-per-view would have just been better in front of a crowd. And let's get into the first match. So on the kickoff show, it was Ricochet versus Sheamus. Not a bad match. Probably to start the feud. And I predicted Ricochet to win, but he did not win. He lost to like a knee strike, which I thought was a little strange because it would have been better maybe a road kick. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, this match was okay. Honestly, if you want to watch the show, you're going to want to go back and watch it. Honestly, you don't really need to see this. All you really need to know is after the match, Ricochet stole Sheamus' hat and coat and start dancing around. Next match, oh my God, this was terrible. I will not tell you to watch this match whatsoever. You probably heard it was Miz versus Miz versus Damian Priest, and Morrison was there. So backstage, we seen Morrison, and there was a bunch of zombies. I gotta admit one thing about the zombies. They looked good, and I liked the idea, but they didn't execute it very good, and they done a terrible job of this. So this was promoting this movie, Army of the Dead, and Batista is in it. That's why they're like promoting it, and at the start, Batista had like this. I think there's like this 5-minute build-up thing. And it was all to do with Backlash and this movie. But then you had to go putting the zombies in the lumberjack match. The zombies were the lumberjacks. I was not happy with that. So then we watched the match. I was watching the match, and then it was terrible. The angles changed like this. Like every 2 minutes there was different camera angles. Second of all, I kind of liked like the city thing. There was like a bunch of buildings on the Thunderdome screen. I kind of thought that looked cool. The match itself was just awful. Like, I seen Morrison, like, ran off the steps and, like, had done, like, a Pele kick to the zombie, and it just looked awful. And there was a bunch of moves in it, and I don't know what it was, but it just felt weird, and it was very slow. And they focused way too much on the zombies and not enough on this match. And this match was atrocious. I just did not like it. I thought you could have had a way better match with Miz and then, just Miz and Damian Priest, and then just bring out, like, Lucha House Party, Akira Tozawa, R-Truth, Angel Garza, just guys like that, just kind of T-bar mates, just kind of jobbers that aren't really doing the best on the roster right now. So that's what I would have done, and I thought this was awful. It was terrible, this zombies thing. And one thing also, the match in the ring, it just felt really slow or something. It really brought the card down. Next up, guys, we've seen a lot of these backstage. I'm really liking this storyline. We've seen Jimmy and Jay. They were kind of like arguing. A lot of the time, Jimmy kind of saying to Jay, stop hanging around with him, come with me. And then Jay's just kind of saying, no, I'm with Roman now. That's basically what this was. And yeah, this was good. Next up, I think I have Apollo Crews standing here for a reason, because on SmackDown, we're getting Apollo versus Kevin versus Sami Zayn versus Big E. And I did predict this in my prediction video that this will probably be taking place. But unfortunately, no, this was not on Backlash. They announced this for SmackDown. I would have put this match on Backlash, that Apollo match, and then I would have put this on Raw. No, they didn't. They put this. This just brought the card down a lot. I've heard a lot of bad things about this. This was terrible. And the next match, I thought this was actually kind of a good match. One thing that I thought that was good about this match was that it was Extreme Rules. So it was Drew versus Braun versus Bobby, and Bobby retained his title with a spear, and he pinned Braun. So Drew hit a Claymore on Braun. And then Bobby out of nowhere, because Bobby got through the Triton thingy, the entrance stage. And then he came back out of nowhere, speared a Braun, and then he retained. The reason I set this up is because Braun put Drew through the announce desk through the match. This was a good match. Honestly, go back and watch this. Don't watch this Miz and Morrison thing. Sheamus versus Rick Shay, kind of skippable. If you want to watch it, it wasn't even a long match. It was literally 10 minutes, and then that was it. And yeah, okay. I think we got one more match, and then we're talking about the women's. Okay, real quick, the women's division. Bailey, Bianca, skippable. If you don't want to watch it, you could skip that. If you don't, that was honestly nothing even special happened in that match. That match was okay, and Bianca won. And then the triple threat match, probably the second, maybe one of the, probably in the 3 top matches of the night. I'll say that in the end. Yes, that was a good match, and Rhea Ripley retained. So, then the next match was Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, the Mysterios, versus the Dirty Dogs. And let me just get. And yeah, so we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champs, and I'm happy about it. I am. I like it. I think it's cool the way Rey and Dominic are father and son Tag Team Champs, but it wasn't in front of a crowd, which was awful, and it was in front of the Thunderdome, which I just didn't like that. They should have done this at WrestleMania. It would have been so much better, because WrestleMania is such a big thing. It would have been in a bigger place. It would have had a crowd. It would have just been such a better moment, and just wasn't as good. And so here's what happened. I know this isn't Dominic. It just kind of looks a little like him. So basically, Dominic got attacked before the match, and then he couldn't compete. And then it was Rey versus Dolph and Robert Roode. Now, let me tell you something. Don't have a Pat McAfee figure, obviously. But it was Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, SmackDown commentators. I like Pat McAfee. The new guy on Raw, he's not the best, honestly. Raw has Corey, Byron Saxton, and this new guy. But the commentator, Pat McAfee, that guy, I think he's actually really entertaining. He keeps on calling Robert Roode Bobby Roode. It is so annoying, and it's kind of funny in a way, because Robert Roode should just tell him. And yeah, maybe I'll look at this, but I'm gonna look at the WWE network thingy right now, and I'll tell you if his name is Bobby Roode. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. I think it's still Robert, because Michael still calls him Robert, and the guy who announces you when you're entering, I think he still calls him Robert, but it's a little weird. I'll look at it right now. Yeah, I just looked at it, and his name is still Robert Roode. It is not Bobby Roode. So this Pat McAfee guy, you got it wrong. So stop calling him Bobby Roode. It's funny, but it's stupid, because he's not even called that anymore. So and then I think the final thing we have to talk about is the main event. It was Roman versus Cenzaro, and good match, decent match, honestly, and no help from Jay or no help from Jimmy, which I liked, and I got the ending right. I predicted it, and I kind of wanted it to happen. So he had him in the guillotine, and then Cenzaro just doesn't tap, and then he just fades out, and then Roman retains. So this was a good match. After the match, we seen Seth came out. Oh no, actually, first we seen Jay came out. No Jimmy. No sign of Jimmy. Jay came out, attacked them. After the match, we hear "Burn It Down." Then Zet comes out in a really funny suit with a paint suit. The Drip God again. Zet Rollins looking sick. And then then he comes out, and then he just attacks Cenzaro. And then Roman just kind of looks at him for a while, and then he just attacks him. He says, "You haven't got rid of me," or something. And then the show closes on that, because Roman just left. So if I was to score it out of 10, God, honestly, it wasn't. I think some things were better than WrestleMania. This was not better than Edge versus Daniel versus Roman. I think that'll probably be the best match of the year. The Daniel Priest match versus Miz, Bad Bunny, and Daniel Priest versus Miz Morrison. That was so much better. The women's stuff, actually. Bianca versus Asuka versus Rhea. That was better than No, not Bianca. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte versus Asuka was better than Ripley versus Asuka. And then Bianca versus Bailey. Bianca versus Sasha was better. So kind of equal. And Sheamus to Sheamus. No, Sheamus versus Riddle was better than this. These guys were all kind of mania. And then Drew versus Bobby. Honestly, Triple Threat was better. So some of it was better than WrestleMania. But yeah, out of 10, bad. That takes it down. I'll probably give it an 8. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. I wouldn't give it any higher. Maybe even a 7, honestly, because the Bailey match wasn't the best. Sheamus was just okay. That was just kind of on the kickoff show. But we're say probably an 8. We could even say 7.5, but I'm just going to give it an 8. Yeah, that was the video. The best thing of the night. Best 3 matches. First match was this. Then this. Then the Triple Threat, honestly. And like I said, this should have been in front of a crowd. Interesting to see where this goes. Roman, his next feud is definitely at Hell in a Cell. We're getting it. It's kind of predictable now at this point, because last year we got Jay versus Roman Hell in a Cell. This year I'd say we're going to get Roman, Jimmy, Hell in a Cell. That will be a great match, a great feud. And then after that, Roman will win, obviously, and then Jimmy will acknowledge him, and then there will be a trio, and then that will be sick. And then hopefully the Usos can beat Dominic and Ray pretty soon. Not too soon, because we have to see Dominic and Ray have them for a while. Maybe we could just see the Usos go on like a tag team run. But anyways, that has been the video, guys. Comment down below what you give it out of 10. And my final figures, out. Roman's the best.